Gruden gave this explanation for the comment about, or the text, email, I should say, about DeMaurice Smith. He said he uses a term. No, he uses a term to describe liars, and his term is they got rubber lips. So I Googled. I was like, I never heard that. But is that a common term for liars, Rob G? I don't know if you want to weigh in.
Never heard of them.
I looked it up, and it there were usages of it, like slang or colloquialisms, but there was nothing saying that's a common term for liars. So if indeed it doesn't mean liars, then the irony, Rob, is that John Gruden, in defending himself, was speaking with, to use his term, rubber lips.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously
the only thing is that
tires.
he wouldn't call them Michelin tires because Michelin tires are black. You know what I mean?
So did you think? See, I didn't correlate the color of the tires with it. Did you?
I'm just tires are black. I mean,
they are black. Obviously, I saw the racial.
I'm just saying
insensitivity and the lips big and all that.
He could have said he has rubber lips, Chris. He could have said rubber lips.
Right. But even that, I don't
lips
know
like
what the
tire.
heck that means.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So you're putting more into the Michelin than I am. Okay, and that's fair. I mean, I didn't even think about that.
That's the way I heard it.
Yeah, but
Rob G, where are you?
On that term, I had never heard that term before.
Yeah, I never heard that term. Okay. So, like I said, the irony is maybe he was speaking with rubber lips, to use his term, in defending himself. But here's the deal, Rob. A lot of people talking about this now. It's not going to go away. And Gruden, again, had to address it after their loss to the Chicago Bears 20-9 on Sunday. Here he is.
All I can say is I'm not a racist. I can't tell you how sick I am. I apologize again to D. Smith, but I feel good about who I am and what I've done my entire life. I apologize for the insensitive remarks. I had no racial intentions with those remarks at all. But yes, they can. I'm not like that at all. But I apologize. I don't want to keep addressing it.
Do you expect something to happen?
I'm not going to answer all these questions today. I think I've addressed it already. I can't remember a lot of the things that transpired 10 or 12 years ago, but I stand here in front of everybody apologizing. I know I'm not, I don't have an ounce of racism in me. I'm a guy that takes pride in leading people together, and I'll continue to do that for the rest of my life. And again, I apologize to D. Smith and anybody out there that I have offended. Okay?
Rob, quickly before you go, there are new emails that Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, is in possession of. The NFL sent them to him. We don't know what they say. It hasn't been reported. Are they about D. Smith? Are they racial?
And people need to. Somebody asked me this, Chris.
We don't know.
Rob
but
G,
there's
before you
new
answer
ones.
this question, people were asking me. I got friends like where these emails come from? Well, the Washington football team is being investigated.
Right.
So they're going through emails, anything that was sent to the company, and there's a ton of emails.
And he sent it to the president of Washington.
Right. And he sent it to Washington. Exactly. And that's why that came out. So people need to understand in an investigation when they read through emails, it's just random. It's just random that he got caught up.
This is why, Rob, even though it doesn't relate to them or to the quote-unquote investigation, when people are investigated, they want to destroy their phone, destroy the computer.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not just stuff or even stuff that relates to the investigation. It's other stuff you got going on, right? That you don't want people. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want people all up in your personal emails and texts and stuff like that. But go ahead, Rob. Rob Parker.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to admit, I think this could be, and it feels like to me, the beginning of the end of John Gruden. And from this standpoint, he signed that big 10-year, $100 million guaranteed contract. This is year 4. Things have not gone well in Las Vegas.
No, we talked about it before the season.
They just
hasn't had a winning year.
Okay, so he hasn't had a winning year in 3 years. This is the NFL. I get it that Mark Davis is in love with him and all that, and and he's a Raider, and they feel that way. But at some point, business becomes business, and you got to do what's best for the organization. And Chris, if the wheels fall off, they started 3-0. If the wheels fall off this season, and maybe that lackluster performance, I'm sorry, 3 field goals against the rookie quarterback.
Right.
I'm sorry, you
don't lose that game.
No, you
and you're
can't
coming
lose
off
that
a bad
game.
loss. You were coming off a bad loss.
And Chris, they had a bad finish against Miami in the game before that. So they haven't been playing that well the last 2 and a quarter worth of playing time. And then, this could have been a rallying point. Imagine if they would have throttled Chicago. Chicago, Chris, is so bad. You want to know how bad their offense is? Chicago's offense is so bad. They're in second place in the NFC North and have the worst amount of points, the lowest amount of points scored in the division at 84. Even the Lions, who are winless, have scored 14 more points than the Bears.
Right.
So the Bears don't score. They're not that good.
They got a good defense. That's it.
They got a good defense, but they don't score a lot of points. And my point is that this could steamroll or spiral out. Chris, if there's another email where, again, he's using some sort of derogatory term to an African-American, to a black person, that could be the double whammy. You said you don't do this. Here's another one. And here's another email. You got to be, if you're John Gruden, you got to be on pins and needles, Chris.
If he sent other stuff.
Yes.
And,
because
you
all
do
it
it
takes
once
is
like that, maybe that was something he did.
You know what it reminds me of? I'm going to be honest. It reminds me of Rachel Nichols, Chris, knowing that tape was out. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you're John Gruden and you know you've done something, Chris, and you emailed somebody else something, you know it's there. Are they going to find it? Are they going to expose me? I mean, it's got to be the worst situation in the world. Because if there's a second or third one, he's cooked. He's cooked.
And I agree with you. I would say, may be the beginning of the end. Both you and I said at the beginning of the season, he should be on the hot seat just from his football record, right? This is your 4th year there. You haven't made the playoffs yet. All right. And we also felt like he wouldn't get fired because he's got the 10-year, $100 million deal. That's heck of a security blanket. And Mike Mayock, the GM, would be the one to take the hit. Here's the thing, Rob. I don't think John Gruden should be fired for the email right now. I mean, if there's other ones, then we'll see what happens. But not because of that email. He didn't work for the NFL. He didn't work for the Raiders, obviously, at that time. But to me, it's related to where the players are. And I'm not trying to put the burden on them. I'm saying a coach, no matter the situation, your job security is always related to your ability to get through to your players, to develop the trust, the credibility with your players so they listen to you and execute what you're telling them to do. And they do it with energy and with passion, and they'll run through a brick wall for you, right? If John Gruden has lost that to his black players, he's lost that with them. And I say if, because I don't know. We heard some comments from guys, right? We heard comments from guys. Most of them are supportive. But let's just keep it real. What are they going to say? They're in the position. He's making $100 million. They feel like he's got security. Right. They may not. Only Yannick Ngakoue said that no comment. He was asked. He said no comment. Rob G has an update. What's up?
This, according to the New York Times, just tweeted out this story as you guys are doing this segment. They have apparently reviewed the emails that were sent over to the Raiders. According to the New York Times, John Gruden, during this span, casually and frequently unleashed misogynistic and homophobic language over several years to denigrate people around the game and to mock some of the league's changes. He denounced the emergence of women as referees, the drafting of a gay player, and the tolerance of player protesting during the national anthem.
There you go, Chris. This is what we were talking about right here.
Well, obviously the player protesting. So that was during. So this isn't 2011.
No, this is recent.
This is while he's coaching the Raiders. So that's gonna haunt him in the racial sense. they have Carl Nassib. Is that how you say his name, Rob G?
Carl
Nassib, the openly gay defensive lineman for them, right? Who just came out a few months ago. So how's that going to sit? So this is what I'm saying. To me, it comes down to how do the players respond to him.
But
and now you got,
his case doesn't sound as good anymore, Chris, because now this is the way he throws stuff around. And I'm going to lead to believe that did have some racial overtones to it, and it wasn't about just being a liar. The Michelin
tire.
Oh no,
I totally, but I'm with you. I didn't believe the rubber lips thing. No, unless I would have found out that actually is a legitimate.
I've never heard that. Oh, he's got rubber lips. He's lying. No, when people usually say, "Oh, you could tell when so and so's lying because his mouth is open,
growing, whatever."
Or whatever. You know what I mean? Or his mouth is open, so he's lying, or whatever. So this is a blockbuster right here with the New York Times and these other emails and just his attitudes towards different people. This is interesting, and how this is going to play out. And no wonder the league sent him over to Mark Davis, right, the owner of the Raiders. That's why they didn't send him over to say that there's nothing in it.
There were rumblings, Rob. Right, that's a good point. If they were innocuous, they wouldn't have sent him to him. That's a good point. The rumblings have been that the league is kind of waiting on the Raiders to see what they do. But, we'll see what John Gruden – this is interesting. Let's throw it out to the callers, Rob.
Yep, let's do that. Taylor in Pittsburgh, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Taylor?
Hi, thanks for having me. I just have a couple of points to make. One, I think Gruden's rubber tire excuse really lacks credibility. It demonstrates that he's not contrite. I think it's odd to suggest that you're not a racist when you say racist things. Yeah. And the addition of the new emails demonstrates that he's intolerant of the rights of others, that he doesn't understand. And I don't really think that someone like that with that kind of thinking should be leading other men on the field.
All right. And he was very a lot of negative comments toward Roger Goodell too, Rob.
Oh my God.
I mean, he really went off of name calling and everything.
Name calling him homophobic slur, all kinds of stuff. And the other thing is, I didn't even know Keyshawn on the radio today, Chris, blasted him. And, he played for John Gruden when they won that Super Bowl in Tampa.
Did he blast, and say he shouldn't
him? Yeah, be
coaching or?
Yeah, I think he went off on him. Rob G, you probably heard more than I did. Trucker Don in Boston, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Trucker Don?
There it is. We love it, my man. We love it.
Thank you guys for taking my call.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I can't wait to hear your morning show, by the way. They got to be coming up with it soon. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, man. What you got?
I want to talk about Chucky because I think wasn't it Coach Dungy years ago that used to tell us, you new guys, when you think you want to email something, type it out and then just delete it because nothing good ever comes.
Yeah.
And now for a head coach to sit there and draft a letter, an email, and read it and go, "Yep, that's what I want to say," he's an idiot, and he should have signed it, the idiot, because it's just moronic.
Trucker Don, I'm with you. It's one thing to blurt something out in the heat of the moment, but to sit down and compose, Chris, an email and you're saying these kind of things, and now the emails that the New York Times have just put out there and that Mark Davis, the owner, has, Chris, and I don't. What does he say, Chris? I'm asking you. You're John Gruden now. Okay, that was about rubber lips or somebody lying. Now, what is this about? What's your answer now?
Yeah, I don't know that he'll be able to really defend himself adequately. I mean, he said that Eric Reed, who was one of the players, involved in the protest, kneeling, should be fired. It's going to be hard on him.
Oh, I can't wait to hear from this
we love him.
Yes.
The Hall of Famer, Rod Woodson, Fox Sports Radio NFL analyst. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, Rod?
What's up, my brothers from another mother?
We are good, man. We are good.
Hey, your former franchise is embroiled, man.
Well, we got. There's new. I don't know if obviously you know what happened with John Gruden last week with the email about DeMaurice Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, was in possession of more emails that the NFL sent him from
Read
Gruden.
some of those, Chris. Just
and Rob, basically, there's negative language toward homosexuals. He's really goes off on the commissioner, John Gruden, calling him a lot of name calling. He disparages Eric Reed, says Eric Reed should have been fired for leading, and demonstrating during the national anthem.
Doesn't want women to be referees.
Some misogynistic language. So it's a lot of stuff in there, and a lot of slurs about homosexuals. So, I mean, you haven't seen him, I know, but it looks like he may not be able to survive this type of stuff.
So my question would be, can they legally do anything to Gruden since he was not a part of the National Football League in any form or fashion? Was that all those emails when he was with ESPN?
No, because that's the thing. Some of them are new. And some of them are from like 2018.
Some of them up to 2018 and yes.
When he was coaching his first year.
That changes it.
That does change the narrative, right? So, I think that they're going to do their due diligence. I don't know where Mark stands with all those subject matters because at the end of the day, it's going to come up to the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's Mark Davis, and how he wants to discipline his guy. He could do it with cause. He could do it without cause. If he does it without cause, he has to pay him another $60 million.
Right.
The league can get involved, and they could suspend him, fining for being contract detrimental. So there's a lot of different ways it could go. I would just say I would be really surprised if John Gruden got fired. I would be surprised if that happened. I could see him getting fined. I could see where even Mark Davis levies some fines on him. I just, in my mind, I just couldn't see where, a coach has gotten fired from the emails that have been sent out. I don't know if anything like this has happened before, so I don't know if there's any precedent. But it
sounds similar. It sounds similar, honestly, to the Donald Sterling stuff,
right? Yeah,
from you remember the owner of the Clippers.
And they had the voice recording, but
private conversation.
And Rod, it's just like some of the stuff. It says he's called the league's commissioner Roger Goodell the F word, and a clueless anti-football cat. I mean, if I go through this stuff, you wouldn't believe like the stuff that he's saying in here. And these are all emails as early 2018. And I guess they can, the only reason I think that the Raiders can do something is they can say, we don't want this guy running our organization. Like this is not what our organization is about. And the Raiders, they hired the first Hispanic football coach, first black football coach. This is not a part of what Al Davis was about.
First
Al
female
Davis
executive.
First female executive. They were very inclusive. So this is what the Raiders have stood for.
That's why I said they could fire him with cause, right? And I mean, Mr. Davis and, Al Davis, Mark hasn't done that yet, but Al Davis was known for doing that, right? So, if you're tarnishing the shield and you're tarnishing the Raiders logo and their reputation, that could be warranted. And so it'd be interesting to see where this goes. Sterling, we're talking about the Clippers, the NFL comparable to the NBA, two different ways to look at it. They're two different organizations.
Right.
I like to see where it goes. I'm really curious about this whole thing. It's kind of the same way what I am with the Urban Meyer thing.
Right.
Like, where's that thing going? It's not over, right? So,
right.
Where at the end of the day, where's that going to go? Could two coaches in the same year be fired before the season's over, not because of their win-loss record,
right.
Well, it could be because of win-loss record with Urban Meyer, but because of their conduct detrimental to the National Football League.
Rod, how do you think the players, and I know, again, you haven't seen necessarily the latest stuff. You just heard it from us.
You just heard it from
us,
so we understand that, right.
Yeah, with the comment about DeMaurice Smith, how do you think the players, particularly the black players, are thinking about, that situation and about John Gruden?
And to hear the Eric Reed stuff, Chris, added on to that.
Right.
That he thinks that when Eric Reed kneeled down, that he should have been fired. I mean, if you're a black player, you might look at him sideways a little bit and just wonder, you know what I mean? I always thought he was cool, but maybe he's not.
He wasn't the only coach that thought that, right? I'm being honest about that one. I mean, he wasn't the only coach that said different things.
He's not the only person in the league who feels the way he feels in these emails.
No,
right. There's no doubt.
That's why if you fire him, you're going to fire a lot of guys, because of the way their beliefs. That would be. I don't know if the league wants to go down that slippery slope, but I'll just be really curious to see where Mr. Davis stands on the subject matter of all the things that happened. Probably not really the things that happened prior to him being in the National Football League,
right?
Because you really can't do anything about that when he was at ESPN, 10 years ago. But the current emails have come out when he was under contract with the National Football League, with the, at the time, Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, and saying things about not just females and the commissioner, those type of things, make players very uncomfortable, and because players have to believe in who they're hearing from. Right. I don't know if all players will believe in him moving forward, but, at the end of the day, that's something that he's going to have to work out if Mark Davis keeps him as the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, which I would think that he is, just for the fact, even though they haven't played well these last two games, they started out in 3-0 and they haven't played well down the last 2 weeks.
I'm going to say this real quick, and we got one last thing I would like to ask you. We run out of time. I don't think he's going to finish the year as coach. That's just my gut off of seeing what I've seen. But anyway, I want to ask you about Patrick Mahomes. We already saw how the Chiefs' defense is horrendous. But he's thrown 13 picks in his last 14 games. He's thrown 6 this year, which matches last year. Are you seeing anything from him? We always know that he was a little reckless. What's happening with Patrick Mahomes this year?
Well, the one that hit Tyreek Hill right in the freaking hands, Tyreek has to catch that, right? And then Micah Hyde got a gift for Christmas. I really blame the defense. Because I really believe the offense feels that they have to put the gas on, or the foot on the gas every single game, take shots week in and week out, because they know they got to score. I mean, think about what they scored. They got 38 points scored against them. Now you had that pick 6, right? But you had 31 points come from the defense. So the offense knows, man, they got to put points on the board on a consistent basis every single quarter. And when you do that, you're always taking shots. You feel the necessity of taking shots. You feel that you got to go down the field and get chunk plays because your defense is not stopping anybody right now. So, at the end of the day, I blame the defense. They got to correct this thing, man. This is ridiculous. 2 years, really 3 years in a row now that this defense has played like this. Now, they did correct it the year they won the Super Bowl and all that stuff. But even last year, they got to the Super Bowl, but they didn't play great. That offense is just so good, it got them through. And this year, their offense hasn't been as good, consistently as good as it has been in the past. And now, they're 2-3.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I blame the defense, and the offense just feels they have to get it done. The defense, Andy Reid needs to put that whole defensive staff in a room and say, man, you guys got to get this stuff straight now.
Absolutely.
And
that's our man.
You can't fire everybody now, though, but hopefully that's what Andy will do.
Right. Nah, they got to get together, no doubt. Yep. That's our man, the Hall of Famer, Rod Woodson. Great stuff, brother, as always. We appreciate you.